We know very well how to improve our schools, and we just don't care enough about us as a society to do it.
What I've learned from talking to people is that every parent wants the same thing for their kids. They want a rich curriculum. They want an experienced teacher. They want small classes. And they want room for their kids to be in their schools. I've learned that instead of schools, we're going to build $1 billion police academy. Instead of a rich curriculum, we get test prep and drilling in math and ELA. Instead of small classes, we get our kids packed 28, 30, 35, 40 kids in a class, and that's wrong. But the worst of all this is that the people who control our schools, the people who run our schools, the mayor, the chancellor of the regents, they don't send their kids to these schools. They have one idea of education for our kids and an entirely different one for their own.
The business model took this country to the brink of Armageddon in 2008. And yet we want to follow a failed business model and imprint that on top of public education.
In recent years, free market business principles have been taking center stage in our country's education reform debate. More and more of our nation's school districts are being led not by educators, but by lawyers and corporate executives who push accountability and competition as the way to improve our nation's schools. They hold themselves up as education saviors while branding educators as the scapegoats.
I think too often we are coddling our children.
Unless there's accountability, we'll never get the right system.
Accountability. Accountability. Focus on accountability.
Accountability. I would urge the federal government not to ratchet down, but to ratchet up accountability.
As two people who adored educators and education as children, and as two people collectively with 20 years of teaching experience in the classroom, we are shocked by the tone, the tenor, much less the content of the current so-called reform movement in education.
There is no doubt reform is needed, and we have not been waiting. The question is, will those in power listen to the actual stakeholders and take meaningful action?
We wanted to explore the truth about education reform, so we did something shocking. We spoke with parents and educators. Their perspectives shed light on the current movement for education reform, and their perspectives highlight the inconvenient truth behind waiting for Superman.
Well, that was from our friend Brian Jones and the Grassroots Education Movement in their response to the film Waiting for Superman. Their film opens next week. Teachers are facing more than just cinematic attacks, of course. In New York, Mayor Bloomberg is laying off 4,100 teachers and eliminating another 2,000 teaching jobs through attrition. He's making the same crisis argument we've heard in Wisconsin and coast to coast. On May 12th in New York, teachers are going to be joining other unions and activists marching on Wall Street to make the point that there's actually plenty of money for schools and other social programs if the financial sector paid its fair share of tax, or if they hadn't tanked the economy in the first place. We'll put a link at our website for more information about the film and the action, and we hope to hear back from you. Tell us at our website. Enjoy GRITtv? Want more people to see it? Well, we are making our program available free to public television stations coast to coast. If you would like to see our show on your local public television station, please give them a call and ask for GRITtv with Laura Flanders. Thanks.